his 40th.
Oh, good on.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he's always wanted to go to Oktoberfest for his 40th.
Yeah, well, we were there in the summer, and it's Oktoberfest every day there. It was awesome. Just going to the Oktoberfest hall and getting the big beers and the pretzels the size of your head. Oh,
We're
it's
so
awesome.
excited.
And it's awesome. It's a great town too, man. You just hop on one of those little trams or trains. They got the above ground train and a below ground train.
Yeah.
It just takes you everywhere.
We have not been away for like this long.
Okay.
Since our
We ready to roll?
Go.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call please, Mr. Fair.
Mr. Rambo, Mrs. Boyer,
Here.
Mrs. Conley,
Here.
Mr. Egger,
Here.
Mr. Hayhurst,
Here.
Mr. D,
Here.
Mrs. Brown,
Here.
Mayor DePratis,
Here.
Mr. Wingrove,
Here.
Ms. Wagner,
Here.
Robert Fierk is here, and Chief Cortazzo.
Here.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fair. Next up is the audience agenda. Anybody in the audience have anything that is on the agenda that they'd like to speak about? Hearing none, we will move on to the engineer's report with Sean Wingrove. Hi,
Yes,
Sean.
thank you. Yeah, it's Sean Wingrove with LSSC here for Jason tonight. I think I've met most of you in Seven Springs or somewhere, but good to see everybody tonight. Jason sends his regards. He's doing well, so we'd like to see you guys soon here. But me for this evening, so a handful of quick updates, and then happy to answer any questions that the council may have. I think first update, if we go to, I believe you guys all have the memo, right? If we go to page 3, the phase 2 COA project, the Jet Jack, got notification that they'll be back mid-month here, mid-September to finish up remaining punch list items. We'll get them closed out to close that contract. Next big update would be page 4 here, Missionary Drive, our storm sewer project. So we had a bid opening a few hours ago this morning. Open bids, if you recall, we opened this 2 months ago, put it out for rebid, removed part of the scope to roll some of the paving over to next year's paving project. So rebid was favorable. A. Moranti was the low bidder, again, as he was the previous time. About $70,000 less than the previous bids. Round numbers, the previous bids were $521. Low bid today was $449. So favorable result for the rebid. I don't know if it's been issued yet. Jason was looking at it this afternoon. We'll get formal bid report to you and go for action. Council wants to take action on it.
Well, it'll be, the Stormwater Authority will be
Oh, the
taking
authority,
action.
correct. But yes, good news
No,
there.
next week.
Is it next week?
It's next week.
Stormwater meetings.
Stormwater meeting is next week.
Okay.
This is September. Okay. That's right.
Say on page 5, then general MS4 activities. So September, always a big month for MS4s. We'll meet with Bob and Randy. I think we have a meeting set up here. The 17th, actually, we'll go through the borough's annual report. That's due by the 30th. We'll be in good shape as you always are. So that's our self-report card once a year to make sure we've checked all the boxes, done everything we need to. Pollutant reduction plan finished. So no worries there. I'm sure Jason's mentioned to you, but we're still working through some of the new stuff for the permit renewal. No real new news from DEP, but still anticipate that to be submitted or ready to be submitted for next year for permit renewal. Pool renovations, page 6, pool's moving along. Did get a note today. I think Randy actually sent it to confirm that the gutters got delivered. They were here working, so they'll continue with that and then move back to concrete work for the sidewalk patio area around it. Still anticipate that to be on the time frame that we discussed, or Jason had discussed with you previously. Get this up operational, make sure it's good before winter comes, and be ready to go for next year. So. Progress there is moving along okay. A couple other bids coming up then. jump to page 8. So McAnulty Park improvements, we have the rebid there. Revised scope will get added to Bob. Tentative bid opening October 29th. So that would be for your November meeting. Work through that. Similarly, out to bid now is the rebid for the fencing project around the police station back here. So no bids the first time. Out to bid here. Ad has ran, I believe.
Yes.
It's at least been sent to the paper. Bid opening September 30th, so that'll be for discussion when council meets in October. It's hard to say it's October already. And then, I think you're likely aware, but Shaycog did indicate, on page 8, Borough Building ADA improvement, $20,000 in grant funding. I think that's happened since the last meeting. The new news there.
Yeah, but, you know, there's
Caveats.
the county, we still gotta wait for them to finally release the money, et cetera, et cetera. So we talked about holding back as much as we can to get this done, but we've got to move forward at some point with this. So, you know, there was a lot of discussion at our Shaycog meeting with the flux that they have with Lou's passing, and the managers met, and they were talking about the funding letters were coming up, but they don't know if the funding's going to be there from the federal government. So I don't know how they're giving us, you know, award letters when, you know, they don't know if the funding's secured. Where they're still waiting on, you know, CDBG year 51, or I'm sorry, 50 to get those done. And we put this application in back in November of last year, and here we are, you know, and previously those people put theirs in 2 years ago, and they're still not giving them authorization to go out to bid. So, you know, we're in limbo.
For what it's worth, I would say that's not just Shaycog either. All the cogs.
Yep.
We've got plenty of year 50 projects that for whatever reason haven't gone yet, so
Yep.
across the board. I think last item then to update on Cohen convenience store with a bond reduction letter. I don't think that's been acted upon yet, right?
No, that'll be next week.
That'll be for next
Yeah.
week. Basically, the recommendation will be to reduce it to 3 things left. Geotechnical certification, removal of the E&S controls, and AOF fence still, but they're on the doorstep of the finish line. With that, that's the active picture stuff. As I mentioned, happy to answer questions if council has on any of the projects we may be working on.
While we're in the engineer's report, we did, as we talked about, we have Gene Crane here and Pat Bondi, who's the Baldwin Borough's representative on the Pleasant Hills Authority Board, to talk about the request that the authority has to replace their pump station.
You guys are up.
Pat Bondi, 1149 Edward Drive. Unfortunately, some of you know me a long time. Chair of the Pleasant Hills Authority with me this evening is our manager, Ms. Jean Crane, and she'll go into the Lewis Run Pump Station proposal.
Yeah, so you received our memo. We have, last time Lewis Run Pump Station had any significant upgrades was probably like 40 years ago. The current pumps that are there are no longer really supported. It's very difficult to get parts for them. That is the impetus for the project, along with there are building, you know, the pumps, the controls. Those are the main things that need to be upgraded. There are some. The building itself needs some upgrades. It's got a roof that's leaking and those kinds of things. We do get some groundwater that comes down off the hill behind the pump station. That's one of the projects. The building and the way we have it structured right now is doing the main part, the pumps and the controls first. Those are the most critical. And then the phase 2 was more of the building and the groundwater remediation issues. Under the service agreement, this project requires majority consent, which was the purpose of the letter, requiring agreement from the municipalities because it is a very expensive project. right now it's structured to try and gather the money over a 3-year time period with the same 3-year time period for working on the project design, then going out for bid, getting the equipment. A lot of the equipment needed is a long lead time equipment, followed by construction. Bob did talk to me. He called me with some concerns because this was trying to go without financing it. Obviously, there are options to finance. Those, as you know, those would, you get into, the bond market right now is not real good. In looking at those numbers, when we ran them, you're looking at more than doubling the total cost, just with the interest and so on over the term of a bond. There is Penvest. Penvest, we're looking at annual costs of about $400,000 to do both sections of both phases of the project. Is about $400,000 a year. We have run those numbers.
So the total project would be about $1 million?
No,
the
it's
total-
4.3.
Total
4.3
project for
million.
phase one and
Okay.
phase 1 and 2 is 4.3 million. Phase 1 was
3 million.
We have almost $1,950,000 in existing funds that we are planning to put toward the project, because there's about $550,000 left from the bond for the master meter project. That project came in under budget, and so there's those remaining funds that have already been, that we can now put toward this project, along with about $350,000 in our surplus fund. So there's a total was like around $950,000 of existing funds that we are planning to put toward the project. The original proposal was to collect the, let's see, what was the total number? Collect the total project cost, which was about 2.6 million over 3 years. But that does would increase the service fee, and I understand, you know, you are looking at rates. You have other concerns, because only a portion of your flow goes to us, and Alcosan also is increasing their rates significantly, and they have been, because they're under a lot. So we understand you have those concerns. The other concern that Bob addressed to me was the issue, because in the middle of this, because of the master meter project that we just completed, as part of the service agreement that everybody between the authority and the 4 contracting municipalities, of which Baldwin is one, we are required to go to a sewage flow-based rate structure. So the meters are now in, we are now getting data, and so in the middle of this, the percentage that you pay right now is based on water consumption, and it's relatively consistent year to year. There's not a lot of fluctuation. But we don't know what's going to happen. Nobody at this point knows how those percentages will change, which could have an impact on what you would be contributing to this project.
The meter flow, it's actually pinpoint meters that were determined over a series of years, and the locations are basically checking the flow as it comes into our, each municipality and as it exits each municipality, basically so that you could pinpoint each municipality's contributory flow. That contributory flow is based solely on, what's coming through those pipes versus the water consumption. So, theoretically, we could go up, we could go down, and all the other municipalities, same thing, depends on how this is, and it was over we just put them in a service July.
Yeah, yeah. April, so we had a couple months, but the time period that counts is from July 1 to June 30th is the year that we look at. So we're looking at from July 1 of 2025 through June 30th of 2026. We would then calculate the percentage of flow based off of that 1 year time frame, and that would be the percentages that would be used for the 2027 service fee distribution.
Yeah, right now, our percentage flow is, based off your table here, about 34.3%. Pleasant Hills is 48%, South Park 13.8, and Whitehall 3.9. So that's about where it's at in
And
2025.
where are we at?
We're the second highest flow contributor. We're at 3.3, and Pleasant Hills is 48.02 or 48%. So we're the two highest contributors, obviously, to Pleasant Hills Authority and all their facilities. So that's how it, and that's based off of what she's describing is based off of water consumption. So once we get the meters in, those percentages could change. We're not, nobody knows where they're going to go, up, down, wherever, So.
And that'll impact the bill.
Well,
Yes.
the way they've calculated it, at least in this letter, was going to be based off of just that flow percentage, and it wouldn't take into account the actual metered percentage. So
we'd be responsible for about 33% of the repairs.
yeah, we're looking at, in 2025, 1.37 million, 2026, 1.44 million, 2027, 1.5 million, and 2028, 1.6-ish million. So that's what and that, obviously those are large portions of monies. So I discussed with Gene, it actually came from Jason. Jason came up with an idea to, possibly, because that would start next year. We're looking at, because they're going to be doing the design next year, so they're going to need funds for that. So Jason proposed that, maybe we take the PHA's reserves and the leftover master meter money, pay for the permitting and the design in 2026 with those funds, and then doing phase 1 and 2 permit and design those, and then in 2026, 2027, would be the construction with our construction 27, 28, and then the principal and interest payments going through Penvest to get the low percentage loan, 28, 29, and 30. So that will push us out, and that will give us a little more time to sit down and calculate what we're going to get from them, what we got, what we're going to need to pay for that, what we're going to need to increase our user rate fees, and on top of what we're going to get at the end of next year. Alcosan, they gave us a letter for the last 6 years. It was 7% increase, and that ends in 2026. So we have no idea what those ones are going to be. They're going to give us a letter in 2026 to tell us what those numbers need to be for 27 and beyond. So we'll be able to put those all in one bucket together and increase it, just hopefully at one time, and maybe a slower increase versus increase next year, then increase the following year, and increase whenever. So that seemed like a more better for us, at least on our term. Gene had some concerns about with the pumps, because you go through Penvest. If you go through Penvest, there's they want you to, you can't just specify, I want this specific pump. You have to say this pump or approved equal. But
You have to list 3 approved equals.
I gotcha.
You have to list your primary plus two alternates. Our concern, the board's concern when we discussed Penvest funding specifically was that with the pandemic, there are fewer pump manufacturers. Some have gone out of business. We do require, this is a high head installation. It pumps quite a height up over the hill. It's not quite a mile, but it's a very long, high run, which limits the number of pumps that are available. You know, the concern is because you have to name 3,
Yeah,
getting stuck with a pump that's going to cause us problems for the next 20 years.
yeah.
Jason, I talked to him after I talked to you, and he thinks that can be worked through with, not only because you got to go through the permitting process with the DEP, you've got to provide them with, you know, your plan, and that plan, you take that plan and discuss that with Penvest, and you should be able to get the pumps that you're looking for with good reasonability, saying this is why, because of the X, Y, and Z, this is the ones that provide that. So I think that, like I mentioned, I think the engineers can work through that in the engineering.
I'm just conveying what the concern was at the authority board meeting when this was discussed, that they are not opposed to any solution. You know, we do want to work with everybody to find a solution. You know, if financing it is the way that the municipalities want to go, that's the way we will go. We don't have an issue with that. We were trying to go a way where we didn't have to finance, and you know, when we finance, because we don't directly bill municipalities, you then have to provide the guarantee on any loans that we take out.
How many pumps?
There's 6. There's 3 pairs.
And how big are each pump?
I don't remember, honestly.
I was just curious.
Yeah. I don't remember.
I don't know that that's been, it might be.
I'm sure.
Oh, it's not that big of a deal, huh?
They have to, there is no one pump that can do it. That's why there's pairs. And in lower flow, 1 pair operates. In higher flow, 2 pairs operate. And then, yeah, under DEP rules, you always have to have a spare.
Backup.
So that's why the backup. So that's why we have the 3.
Right.
The 3 pairs. There's also the other tricky part of the process is there's a thing called an accumulator. I think that's what they called it. But basically, it's the thing that holds back the head, holds back all the flow from the pipe, so that when you're switching pumps, it doesn't all come back at you.
Gotcha.
And
like
that's
the
an
check
older
valve.
technology, so that's another
exactly.
thing that has to
Yeah.
be replaced. We would be looking probably, because of that high head, it becomes very difficult to do bypass pumping the way we have to pump it. We'd probably be looking to have some sort of agreement for if we have to do bypass pumping to pump to like Jefferson and Clairton, because you can't really do temporary pumps without that accumulator or something to keep that head back.
And, you know, overall, you know, I think we need to, you know, what you've proposed is you know, very concerning and you know, not doable on our end at this point. So that's why we're looking for alternatives, and maybe we need to, you know, just sit down and with, you know.
I did want to mention, because you had mentioned to me the uncertainty in terms of the switch over from the water-based sewage flow rate to the sewage, from the water consumption to the sewage flow-based rate. The board did discuss that. You know, right now in our service agreement, there is no transition plan, if you will, to go from one to the other, so that it's, you know, if your percentage would go up drastically, it's a shock in 1 year. We did discuss with the authority board a transition plan to move from the water consumption based to the sewage flow based, where we would utilize, the service fee is made up of three parts. One is our annual budget, the second part is the capital budget, and the third part is the debt service. Where we looked at potentially doing a transition plan where the first year you would use the sewage flow base for one of those, probably the debt service. The next year, and still maintain the water consumption for the other one. Second year, you would do the sewage flow based for the debt service and the capital. And then the third year, it would be all the sewage flow based system. That provides a little bit more time, especially for those who whose percentage might go up, to plan and account for it. And it would still provide some benefit for those whose percentage would go down. Wouldn't be the full benefit in the first or second years, but it would provide some benefit. It's kind of a separate issue, but it's kind of linked.
I think it is, yeah. Linked, I mean, not separate. I think it is kind of more linked than not,
Well,
only because of the dollar value of this
Right,
construction
right.
project. So I think that's why they're linked.
But you know, regardless of whether we have this project or not, I think it is a valid concern
Right.
from the municipalities. It's just, when the service agreement was being done, nobody thought of a transition plan. Such a plan would require all the communities to agree, because it is outside of what is currently in our service agreement between us. So there would need to be some, I don't know what form that would take. I'm sure it would have to be some sort of resolution, because it's against an existing agreement.
That's on you.
Do you have any projection as to what the usable life is left? Like how long do you think this thing could last? You know?
It's pretty close to the end of its usable life.
We're at 40 years,
Yeah,
probably
40
exceeded
years,
it.
you're pretty much at the end of your usable life. You know, it was kind of kicked down the road when we had the consent order, and then the master meter project, and now we're at the point. I mean, right now we have 2 pumps down. We're in the process of trying to get some spare parts, so that, because the spare parts are 4 to 5 months lead time to get anything, so.
There's limited kicking left, huh?
There's limited kicking left, yes.
Yeah, and the longer you put it off, the more expensive it's gonna be down the road anyways.
Yeah.
But my question is at what point did you decide that you needed to do this project?
We started looking at it seriously last year, which is why in the annual report that we provided you last year, it was one of the future projects named that we were in the process of looking at it.
Because we only kind of like found out about it as a council in, in the last 6 weeks or so, or, so that was kind of like, that's also the second shocker.
Yeah.
Sticker price, and the fact that this is not just a project, but this is a project that has to come rather quickly. Yeah, so. It's like getting a sudden terminal illness diagnosis.
We can talk about that too.
Okay.
And just for council's information, with this majority consent request, they did attach some exhibits. Exhibit B is language from the service agreement with PHA. So we do have 50 days to give them a response on the majority consent request. So that would be September 27th. So at next week's meeting, we have to either accept or reject it.
I would say that if it is rejected, we will probably come back with what was discussed here today about financing. And it would include the Lewis Run pump station, phase 1s and 2, because if you're gonna finance, you're gonna do the whole project and not separate it into phases like we had.
Yeah.
Plus, the other project that was listed in the letter was we would probably also include the sludge heater at the treatment plant. That is at the end of its life as well.
Is that cost in here too? I
Yeah,
didn't see it.
it's, I think it was around 800,000.
Yeah. I think it's in the last page.
Oh, okay.
It's under the future capital projects. Just full disclosure.
Okay. Any questions?
Are you, when you were listing off the 1.3 million, 1.4,
Yes.
those were
Per year.
cumulative, or was
That
that
was,
just
that was
our
just,
share?
that was our share for phase 1.
Our share for phase 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's over $4 million in total over those years for us?
It would be,
Well,
yeah.
well, what the numbers you were listing off would be your share of our service fee over those 3 years, which includes existing debt service in our annual budget, plus the cost of this project,
Okay,
right?
Correct.
I was looking for my copy of the letter.
August 13th email.
Okay. Okay.
I think we're good. Anyone else have anything?
Thank you, Gene. Thank you,
Okay,
Pat.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
No, but you don't have to read the money. Okay, up next is Mrs. Wagner with the solicitor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I have for council today a draft ordinance. We did discuss this last month. This ordinance would repeal a subsection of section 134-3. It's subsection B7. It grants a reduction in sewer service charges to users whose basement area is unable to be serviced by the borough's sewer system. Upon discussion with the manager, we identified that section is not really useful with today's sort of modern technology for sewer systems. So I went ahead and prepared this. This would remove only that subsection B7. The rest of the ordinance would continue on as it is. So if there's any comments or questions on it, I'm happy to answer. If not, this would be on next week's agenda for advertising, yes.
Okay. Any
So we
questions?
wouldn't be voting on this next week?
No, you just would vote to advertise the ordinance.
Okay.
Anything
And
else?
that's all I have.
Okay, fantastic. Do we have executive session you need to mention?
Do you have
Yes, we
anything
do,
about the-
we do, yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Okay.
legal and personnel.
Okay, fantastic. So up next is the mayor's report with Mayor DePratis.
Thank you, Madam President. I will give my report at next week's meeting.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. So next up is administration with Mr. Farrick.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a couple items to go over. First item is as we have been discussing with the Baldwin Whitehall School District, the Walls School Building. That is for executive session, and then we will be putting an item for that after executive session, possibly next week. Next items I got are the police union contract negotiations. I can report that the union has recently ratified the negotiated collective bargaining agreement, and we have that ready to, they sent it over, so we will have that on. I'll place it on the agenda next week for council's approval, and then hopefully execute it. We'll send it over to the union, and they will execute it, and we'll be done
For 5 years.
3 months in advance.
Fantastic.
Repealing the ordinance, the solicitor mentioned that, so that will be on the agenda for advertisement for your consideration. And the tri-community fire discussions, I just want to mention that we held our first meeting, kickoff meeting, with Rob Brady, who we brought on board. The meeting was held here at Baldwin Borough Auditorium on August 21st. The Brentwood Fire Chief and their president were not in attendance. Whitehall and Baldwin were both there, fire chiefs and presidents, along with council members. And Brentwood's council member was not, or was present. Their chief was present, their manager was present. So the Baldwin and Whitehall were going to reach out to the fire chief. I don't know if you've heard anything about that, but
I haven't.
our next meeting is scheduled next Thursday, and it's going to be at Brentwood, so hopefully they'll attend and we'll move forward one way or another with this. So that's the report for that. No update on the log cabin, and I have one last item to note, that there'll be a motion on the agenda next week from at the Planning Commission last night. They went through and were looking for the Taco Bell is looking to come in at the old, what was that,
Next to First Watch.
yeah, I can't think of who it was, but
Was
they
it-
were real estate.
was it
Berkshire
Howard Hanna
Hathaway.
or-
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the Berkshire Hathaway property, it'll be advertising for a conditional use hearing because they do want to place a drive-through in, and they have to go through conditional use approval with that. So we will do a
And what's the
conditional.
name of the company that, they're franchised, right?
Yeah, I don't know the specific name of the company, but yeah,
It's the same
it will be a
people
Taco
that
Bell.
own the Taco Bell in West Mifflin.
Oh, okay, I know them. No.
Who's that?
I didn't have in my notes.
Yeah, I just have it labeled as Taco Bell, but when we advertise for the conditional use, that'll probably be their name in there with the Taco Bell. And that concludes my report, unless anybody has any other questions or items.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fair.
I just want to mention that the Taco Bell, if everything goes through, they will be putting this in accordance with the Route 51 overlay. That when the planning commission came up with the Route 51 overlay, there were members of council at that time that were totally opposed to the whole thing because they felt that it would stop any development. And this is the second or third developer that's come in under the 51 corridor overlay. I think the planning commission did a great job, and it's not gonna hold us back from developing that and making it a nice strip.
More attractive.
Yeah, well, not,
Yeah.
a lot of it is Baldwin Borough, but before the overlay, you could do whatever you wanted. And so the parking lots didn't
No.
make any sense.
Not really whatever you want, there was
Yeah,
certain,
you still have
there
room
were,
to
there
follow
were,
that.
there were
Very
guide
limited.
rails, but
Very
they were
limited.
wooden.
But I think that what they did is a very good job. And Taco Bell coming in, I think will be a plus.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Egger. Moving on then to finance with Mr. Hayhurst.
thank you, Madam President. Property tax revenue bumped up about 0.5%. We're at 97.33% of budgeted planned revenues. Earned income tax we're at about 73.5. Our real estate transfer taxes, we were about 75.41% of budget, or planned budget. Overall, our revenues are a little over 83% in-house at this moment, or through August. The expenditures were at 58.55% of total expenditures. On the sewer side, we're at about 2/3 of our planned budget for sewer billings, and total budgeted revenues were at 52%. Overall expenditures were about even, right with it, it's about 52%. So that's a very brief report. I'll have some more next week. If anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them as best.
Okay, hearing none, then we will move on to Public
Thank you.
Works. Welcome, Public Works, Mr. Rambo, but he's not here, so Mr. Lubin.
Thank you, Madam President.
Is he here for the next meeting?
He should be.
Okay, then I'll let him give the public works
Okay.
report, and then I'll take care of my report for tonight. Just a few updates and just a couple pieces of new business for some projects. For the 2025 road program, the contractor that's coming in for the liquid, or came in for the liquid fuels, he's down on that 5th, 6th Vine area, street area. They started the catch basin work there. And the contractor that's coming in, which is A-Lib for the general fund road program project, has mobilized today, and they are going to start catch basin work the end of this week and a little bit more into it beginning next week. Notices will be passed out to residents in all of the areas as it's part of our requirements. So anything that goes on with that, if anybody calls about it, just please forward them to us and we'll take care of it. Moving on to, nothing there. Some of the utility work has been ongoing, no changes there. The the Curry Road, Curry Hollow Road one you've all seen. We talked about the meter swap out for the other gas company. It's being done by a third-party contractor. That's still ongoing. The one thing with People's Natural Gas, I made a contact with them about some potential and possible safety training issues. This month, or I'm sorry, next month, October, there's a lot of awareness from the Pennsylvania One Call system, as well as an annual pipeline safety training program. With that, being on the SHACOG Council, there is interest in trying to get training for all of our staffs for various do's and don'ts and what to look out for when you're out on whether you're rebuilding a catch basin, doing sewer work, whether you ride by and smell something. What are the benefits? What are they asking us to do? What should we stay away from? Where are their shutoffs if in an emergency, if needed, in the event of we had to do something immediately? There's a lot of interest in that in the public works arena, especially with a lot of the new turnover that's been happening. So I did meet with them at their training center. They are 100% on board. They think it's a great idea, and we're working on not only just for our own benefit here, for our own staff, but also as a multi-municipal type training under this particular gas line safety program. So they're really interested in that. So that went very well.
Would it be worth involving the fire and EMS in that training also?
They've actually said they have done these trainings with the fire departments already. And so we would reach out when the time comes, but it will be very similar to anything fire departments have done. But if they have not been part of that, they certainly would be eligible to come in.
Yeah, just in case there's any updates.
Absolutely. A lot of the fire departments do go to the pipeline safety training that's being held in October. It's that Paradigm, I can't think of the name, but anyway, they come out, that's an annual one. A lot of fire departments as well as public works go to that one. But when the time comes and we schedule a date, I'll be more than happy to put that information out to the management team, emergency management team. So they would be, Dave would be made apprised of that, okay?
You're the man.
Yep. With the pool, the zero entry is mostly, the concrete has mostly been done. You would see the water features are now installed, most of them, all except for the bubblers that when you first come in, those little fountains that we decided on. But it's getting very colorful there. And as Sean said today, yeah, we just got, the gutters came in, which that was the delay we were having. We were a little bit anxious of. It's like, is there gonna be any more delay? We heard some dates, but they, true to their word, they did push it back one time due to an equipment issue. But they said they would be here right around this time, and they're here. So the installers were actually out there working today till about 6 p.m. last I saw them. So they were here and they were just going right at it. So that's good. As far as the summer help staff, they both have completed their assignment and have moved on. Whether they'll be back or not next year, I don't know. But we did have 2 kids. They were good young men, so they were doing the job assigned to them. Going down a little bit further, we are scheduled to have, I'm going to go back to the trucks in a minute. We are scheduled to have the winter salt meeting. It's an annual meeting that we always have here. It's been in Baldwin for years. Because of the new company that's coming on that won the bid. We were trying to set up that date, trying to coordinate that date and trying to do it live. They were hoping to do it virtual, but because there are 23 or 33 communities, 23 communities involved in this, they all are wanting a live meeting because they don't know who these people are, they don't know who their contacts are, they don't know all of the various materials they might be able to provide on top of just the road salt. Other people get other
This is the Shaycog contract.
magnesium and
Yeah.
they get some other special things for that work for when the weather gets below a certain temperature, they use other products. And so they don't know any of this, as they really wanted to have a live meeting for this first round of a company they've never dealt with before. So we're working on finalizing that date. And we will have a Public Works Advisory Committee meeting piggybacked on there, since we will have so many members there. So that should be a good thing.
No, while you're talking about
Yes, sure.
Shaycog, sorry to interrupt, Thursday, October 16th, 17th?
For?
Their annual dinner.
Oh, the annual
Yes.
dinner, it was
Yeah.
Thursday the 16th?
I think, whatever that Thursday is, it's the
It was a
16th.
It's not the
Thursday.
16th, it's, I think the 18th, maybe?
It was Thursday,
18th.
whatever
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah, but this month is the 16th.
Maybe it's
October.
23rd or 22nd.
October 16th is a Thursday.
16th, there you go, I was right.
That may not be right. I have to look at my
The
calendar at
Shaycog
home.
dinner?
No, it's the
Yeah.
16th.
And they're changing their venue this year.
Yeah,
They're not.
it's gonna be at South Hills Country Club.
Oh, super close and I can't go.
Yeah,
It's not where?
it's gonna be at South Hills Country
South
Club this
Hills.
year
Oh, It's
instead
gonna
of.
be.
Yeah.
Instead of the other place.
Yeah,
Correct.
they changed their venue.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about the winter salt meeting coming up. We're just waiting for that date. They still want to hold it here. Nobody wanted to change the venue, so I totally wanted to house it here anyway, at least for this new company coming in for the first round. Couple of things with our Hill International trucks, which are the larger trucks that you see out there for snow removal. Those are the bigger orange looking ones, orange yellow looking ones. We have two older ones that we were trying to determine what would make the most sense as far as which one should we keep in the event of we need it as a backup, which is, in a year didn't really matter, or miles didn't matter. It was like which one is, if we wanted to get them inspected. So we did a diagnostics with Hill International. Hill International came back and said, this one particular truck, even though it might be a little bit newer as far as age, needs a lot of work. And the figure was in around the $25,000 to $30,000 estimate to fix something that old, to try to keep it as a backup truck. The other truck only needed about $3,000 worth of work. A lot of it was front end because there were some things that were broken, some U-bolts and some stuff like that they found, which with the salt and stuff, it makes sense. So we did that diagnosis, try to be financially prudent with our fleet, and we did decide to go ahead. We fixed the $3,000 one. They told us run the other one or just sell it, but they would not. They also recommended not putting the money in it. So just wanted to give you an update as we have some new trucks we're still waiting for. The one, if you remember, it's like about 18 months now. Waiting on that one to come in. It was supposed to be in by the end of August. Recently, we've been told now probably mid-September. The other one that we committed to in December of last year to get it on their build slot, that one was supposed to come in maybe mid-October, maybe pushed to November. But it looks like no matter what, we will have one brand new truck for this season, should be two, and then we will have one decent backup. And then the other one we will put on municipal bid and unload that. And speaking of municipal bid, we had two vehicles this just recently sell. One was, they were both old police cars at one time. One was used as the code enforcement vehicle, and the other one was an old police car that was just sitting now at that point. We got those on municipal bid. We did very well today. I'm pleased to report that we got about $17,700 for both total for both vehicles, which is pretty good when you think about sometimes these things. I think when you're trading them in, they might give you what, $3,000.
Yeah, we were getting at 3 to 5, if that.
So it's pretty good. So we had a really good month and a half or so with 4 of the municipal vehicles. And we did, Bob and I went down to attend you didn't have that in your report, the Friends of Riverfront.
Yeah, thank you.
So we went
Totally
down for the groundbreaking ceremony. We got some pictures with Bob and the shovel, George. He was shoveling, all right. had his little speech, you know, things that how we got to this point. It was well attended, there's some dignitaries there and some donors that were there to support it, as well as various, Rob and his wife from the.
Rob Roderick and his wife, Tammy Roderick, from Senator Piscatano's office were there.
And there was others there as well, so,
Yeah, very nice.
there was some picture taking, and it was the groundbreaking for that particular project, which won't really be completed till sometime next year.
Yeah. But this is gonna have that dock that goes out over the Monongahela. There's gonna be, a trail that goes down to a giant eagle's nest that you can walk in, and it'll have interpretive signage and everything. And there'll be a small pavilion that we're gonna provide a picnic table for, and then some, nicer garbage cans than the garbage cans that look like Oscar the Grouch was in them, type of cans. So it's a nice little, parklet that's gonna be along the trail that's in Baldwin Borough, and a nice little signature, I think, for us.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming between some of the land that they had to make agreements with. Started with some trail enhancements that we've already done or taken part of. I wanted you to see that, and I'll explain that in a minute. So it's been a long time coming, but it's finally here, so that'll really improve that trail. And someone like Bob uses that trail pretty often for bike riding, and anybody else that does, I think you're really gonna see some really nice improvements, by the end of next year. The last thing I wanted to bring to your attention was, anything else on the friends?
Nope, thank you.
And then the last thing I wanted to bring to your attention was, we had talked about this about a year ago, about we're gonna get our own identity with our signs. We have money in the budget, and this year we're gonna start that program. That's the type of sign that we came up with our local vendor that we use. They make that signs in-house. They have our logo on it, and it'll have the street name on it. But we thought that really looks sharp. So we're gonna start that program this year with the road program. We're gonna identify an area to start some larger replacements. But as you know, in all of our areas, how many street signs there are, or should be, that there aren't any signs now, and there probably should be.
Yeah.
It's a big undertaking, it'll be over a few years. But we're gonna start this year with that project. We'll start it with the road program and start replacing our street IDs with that. We are gonna try to get input from the PD and probably also with the fire departments as far as what would they like to see, as far as like locations that they might have trouble with, that they don't always get to, they can see some street ID signs at. So with that, Madam President, that does conclude my report for this evening. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
No, I think we're good.
Do you know when Churchview Avenue is gonna be done?
For paving?
Yeah.
They're just starting, that's part of the general fund, and that is Liveroni, and they just started bringing their equipment in.
Oh, okay.
They should be done with all of our paving by mid-October-ish.
Oh, okay.
So between now and mid-October, all of their ones that they're doing, as well as the ones over on 5th, 6th, that'll all be done. 5th, 6th should be done in a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks or so by the end of September, and then the other general fund one should be by mid-October. So
Churchview isn't all of Churchview.
Oh,
It's
no,
only-
just
yeah,
from
it's
Green
that
Glen to
section.
Cabell,
Right,
yeah.
Yeah, where they stopped last
Yeah,
year.
because people keep asking.
Yep, nope, they're starting now, you're
Yeah.
starting to see signs, there was one calls have been made and
Yeah.
things like that, so no, it's starting.
And all of
Thank
the sealant has been completed?
That sealing program, Rejuvenator, yes, and we did do a demo road, and so we're gonna keep monitoring that, and just keep on seeing how that's working.
Okay, fantastic, thank
Okay.
you.
Very good, thank
Right.
you.
All right,
Okay,
thanks.
moving on then to Parks and Recreation with Mrs. Boyer.
Thank you, Madam President. Right now I have no items to report, but maybe next week. And I'd like to turn it over to Dominic to give his report.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Dawn.
Hey.
So I came on about 3 weeks ago. I've done some things, mostly like research and outreach. The first thing that I noticed when I looked through in-community magazines in the area is there's no voice of our first responders whatsoever. And I would like to partner with fire and EMS to kind of give them, use their expertise, have the community more aware of what they do, and kind of bridge some gaps in communication. I feel like a lot of people don't understand, especially volunteer fire, that they have the exact same training as a paid fireman. and they kind of look down on them, which is odd. And I feel like giving them a voice would really help kind of inspire a community to kind of go around them and trust them.
And donate more money to them?
Yeah, I mean, he came
Yes, I
up
mean,
with some
that-
great ideas, you know, meet your first responders, put in each month or each quarterly, have a, you know, spotlight somebody, you know, how do you support it, and then, you know, they could talk about, you know, smoke detectors, you know, he can interview one of them and say, all right, you know, reminder, change your smoke detectors, just a little, you know, fire corner or something like that, you know, or fireplace talk or something like
Yes, and
that.
it can also be used, you can put a QR code on there to do fundraising. So all you have to do is snap a picture and fundraise. Yeah, I have many ideas for that. Preparedness tips, how to support. Mr. Bob said, meet your first responders, interview the chief, any new trainings that are going on, what they've learned, what they're using out in the field, things like that. The next thing I'd like to talk about is I've started organizing a trunk or treat for Baldwin. That will be held on October 18th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Very many of the same things that were here last year. You know, Baldwin Library is volunteering their time and effort and materials to start a craft corner for the kids. Kiwanis is going to bring in pumpkins for painting. I secured a coffee truck because parents always like coffee. And you know, it would be nice to have council there with trunks, giving out candy to the kids.
Yeah, we were there last year.
Yeah.
Okay. And, you know, fire, EMS, police.
In costume?
Yeah, just like we come to the meetings.
Yeah, this is the costume I wore last year. You like it? Because it's the same one. We'll get different masks.
We could get his opinion to come up with a theme for us, like the schools do when they parade around. The teachers are all in a theme. Wouldn't that be cute?
It would be kind of cool to have like fire and police there to just give Halloween safety tips when you're out trick-or-treating, things like that. Just a safe environment. I've actually also met with, recently today, with Baldwin Borough's Parks and Rec, and they offered to lend us some of their
Whitehall.
themed, Whitehall, yes, sorry about that. Some of their themed items for ours. They were very collaborative and really want to work with us more moving forward. There was another, I thought of, so Baldwin has a lot of history, and some of it can be geared towards the Halloween season, some of the stories that are told, especially with, you know, the mine explosion and the unrest that were a few years later. And I would like to partner with the Historical Society to tell some of those stories and use the log house as a setting during the trunk or treat. Obviously, kid appropriate. I meet with them tomorrow to pitch this to them, and I believe, so does Bob, think they would be very on board for that. So that kind of bridges some generations, brings people together. It's not just here's candy and leave. And then the kind of big part of trunk or treat, the idea that I had was a giant candy bag that at the end of the trunk or treat, we tip over and volunteers hand out the candy. But I'm very large, oversized. Mr. Randy had some great ideas about it today, how to put it together. And once it's built, it can be reused every year. Break it down, and then your next investment is just bulk candy. It will be a very picture-worthy moment, and it's not something that I could find anyone else doing.
No, great ideas.
Very good ideas.
I have like a kind of a mock-up of a flyer that I did over the past week. I don't know if you want to pass it around, or obviously I still have to fill in details and confirm some things, but.
Bob, I have a question. Do we still have all that blow-up stuff?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
I was pulling it out today.
Yeah, the stuff that we had last year or the year before.
From the church?
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, so
His office is filled with Halloween stuff. So
Yes,
yes.
Yeah, so,
You got an office.
yeah.
All right, we're moving on.
He won't tell you where it's at, though.
We don't need to know.
But yeah, so the Ghost Legends and Lore, I think would be a lot of fun, and the historical side, we have a lot of fun. And hopefully we have a nice cool day so they can start a little fire inside. And I think they have a wood stove in there.
It's actually a fireplace.
Oh, it's a fireplace,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Maybe we could build a bonfire outside. We got firemen that could put it out.
If they're
He's
there.
not responding.
We have that
Not
solo
responding,
stove, right?
when you look at
The-
it.
Yeah.
We have
It's
something
gonna
like
be- it's
that.
gonna be daytime, though, so
Oh, that's true too.
That's what I figured
Uh,
inside.
Okay.
I mean, where are you gonna build it? Where are you gonna have the fire?
Right in the middle of the field
But
Oh.
it's during the day.
Burn the grass.
at night.
Yeah, I think softball would be mad at
Uh,
us.
I have done some outreach to other local communities. Whitehall and Bethel Park have been very open arms with me. Bethel Park invited me to their organizing communities around them to go to their meetings. Peter Township, Collier, South Park, they're all going to attend, and it's gonna be one of those, you know how to do this, I'll do this for you, and back and forth.
Oh,
Sure,
good.
sure,
That's a
Becky's
good
right.
idea.
And then Whitehall, we are gonna partner on some events that will bounce between the boroughs.
Oh, that would be nice.
And then we're gonna have a shared calendar, so we don't have things kind of step on people's toes.
Yeah, their trunk or treat happens to be the day after our trunk or treat, so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Uh,
touch a truck,
Touch a truck,
sorry.
yeah.
The
Their-
Saturday.
Yeah, their trunk or treat is the following week from the 18th.
Yeah, but they have touch a truck on this Sunday, our touch a truck is on Saturday,
Saturday.
so.
That's okay. It's a whole weekend to keep the toddlers busy.
But also they wanted to partner with movies in the park. They would open their pool to us if they did it there.
I'm gonna pay.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, for movies at night.
But will
Not
there
to
be water
swim.
in there?
So they're gonna put all the chairs,
Uh,
screen up above by the
They
diving.
were very easy to get along with, and things went very well in our meeting. I gave Bob the meeting minutes that I came up with, and we did a.
What about Brentwood? You doing anything with them?
I have been trying to get in touch with somebody from Brentwood, but I know their community day was this
Yeah,
past week.
that just happened.
So they probably have a little bit of a hectic schedule, breaking everything down still, so I'm gonna give them another week or two before I just go and show up.
That's smart.
Yeah, sometimes you do just have to show up and knock on someone's door.
Did you get a chance to check out their community day?
No, I did not. I was feeling under the weather, so I did not get to go
That's
out.
okay, you can't be everywhere.
But my wife and son went, and
Okay.
they took some pictures, so I
Yeah.
could kind of pull
The
from
foam
that.
was amazing.
Yeah, and I actually just met a contact that has a foam company that
Yeah,
does foam parties.
that was amazing.
Phone or
Foam.
foam?
Foam.
Foam.
Okay.
Picture bubbles like in the
Okay.
dish soap, but
Yeah.
it's not
Okay.
soap, and the kids just love it.
Yeah,
All right.
and I believe it just washes away. It
Yeah.
seems like it's very simple to wash everything away. But yeah, that concludes my report.
Good.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you,
good,
Bob.
thank
Good
you.
job.
Good job.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on then to zoning and planning with Mr. Egger.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Madam
Don.
President. For the month of August, we issued 43 permits, which brings our total for the year to 391. Fees for August was $9,618.50, bringing our total for the year to $80,453.39. And fees for this time last year was $81,914.86. And that concludes my report, unless there's questions.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Egger.
You're welcome.
Moving on then to public safety with Mr. D.
Thank you, Madam President. I will give my report next week.
Fantastic. Moving right along to personnel with Mrs. Conley.
Thank you, Madam President. I do not have a report this week,
That's awesome.
but I may in the future.
Okay.
And that's the extent of my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Conley. Next up is audience agenda, but seeing as how we don't have any guests this evening, we will move on to the executive session. All right, so
Yes.
we'll take, so I just need a, motion to go into
So moved.
executive session.
Second.
Oh, wait, what?
Hold on. Bob, did we forget to put Chris Del Bianco on?
No, no.
Aren't we hiring?
Oh, yeah. Good
Do
call.
we need to make a motion to add a motion?
Good call. Yeah, we're not gonna, yeah.
We would have to because wasn't posted 24 hours before.
Okay.
So
My
that's,
So we
fault.
have to
Does
do-
it have to be done before next week?
Well, it doesn't have to be, but we would like it to be, but Randy, can we?
is it a would or a
Can we
could?
push that? Cause it,
Yeah,
I mean,
I think we
he's,
can.
he's flexible, like,
Yeah.
he was just
That's
helping
my
us
fault.
to start
Yeah.
on the 15th.
Yeah.
So if we need to push it back, we
Yeah.
can push it back.
sorry about that.
Yeah.
Is it a big deal to make a motion, add a motion, or?
Well, if it's not
What are we talking
Yeah.
an
They didn't-
emergency,
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
like if we needed this guy
Okay,
tomorrow, then.
They changed
but-
the rules on that, even on that it has to be,
Like
some form of urgent need to be able to add a motion to add a motion.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Just to
Okay.
make a motion to add a motion.
So then, we'll
Anyway.
look forward to that next week
Yeah.
for you. Okay,
All right.
okay. So I need a motion,
You already have it
We
in a
have-
second.
we have a
Yeah.
motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries, and take like a 5-minute recess, and then we'll come back, but we're not coming back to the regular meeting, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. See you in 5 minutes.
That's it.